Army. I hope everyone's doing well. And today's video is going to be about daring to dream and self-love. So for the month of April, we've been talking a lot on the podcast about daring to dream. And last week's episode was about embracing your imperfections, which I kind of hinted that leaded to this week's topic of loving yourself or self-love. So when we talk about daring to dream, dreaming and daring to dream is courageous. People who dare to dream are confident. They are empowered. Why? Because it takes a lot to be able to break away from what society deems as normal and to think outside the box and to be your own person. There's often a lot of times there's pressure there to comply or to just fall in line. And so when you dare to dream, you dare to be different. And so that's why I wanted to highlight the importance of embracing your imperfections and then moving into self-love. So we talked about there being 4 steps to daring to dream. The first one was embracing your imperfections. The second one was loving yourself. The third one was stating your dreams. And the fourth one, it was to make the commitment. And so we're really focusing on the loving yourself aspect. And I know that some of you may be saying, well, what is self-love even? And how do we do that? Well, self-love is the regard for one's own happiness or well-being. And so when you love yourself and how you love yourself, that is how you teach others to love you. So if you don't love yourself, then you open the door for negativity. You open the door for mistreatment a lot of times because we don't protect our own space. We don't love ourselves enough to put up those boundaries to be protected and respected, so to speak. And so a few ways in which you can practice self-love is to tell yourself, to write about it. I'm definitely a fan of journaling. That's something that I recently got into and within my journey of growth and becoming more empowered and encouraged to do what I want to do in life. And I journal every single day. And so writing about what makes you happy, what gets you up in the morning, what motivates you, what inspires you is one way to practice self-love. The second is to embrace where you are, which is why we talked about embracing your imperfections and being comfortable with that and knowing that where you are today is exactly where you're supposed to be, but it doesn't mean you have to live there. So you can definitely grow, change, and expand and move beyond where you are today, but being okay with where you are and just accepting that there's room for growth, there's room for change. The third thing that we can do is to remove negative people or relationships that no longer suit us in our life. So if you've surrounded yourself with people who make you feel negative or drain your energy, I think it's time to reevaluate our circle and determine, why is it that I have this person or these people around me, and think about ways in which you can make those changes. Who should you be taking advice from? Who should you be talking to? Who should you hang around? Who is going to uplift you rather than bring you down? Another way in which we could practice self-love is to forgive ourselves. I know that may sound simple, but a lot of times we're holding on to things that have affected us greatly in our lives, or decisions we've made, mistakes that we've made. It's time to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself and love yourself enough to move forward. And another quick tip for self-love is to dream. If you can dream it, then you can make it happen and you can claim it. So I hope this video was helpful, and hopefully you all will tune into the podcast. It drops every Tuesday. This week's episode 12, is going to be specifically about daring to dream, as well as loving ourselves and self-love. So get some of the rest of the tips by listening to the podcast this week. And finally, we're having a live discussion on April the 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. So if you haven't already, join the She Army. The link is in the comments. To be able to do that, you can also go on our website at isimplishe.com/podcast, as well as isimplishe.com/resources to be able to join the She Army and get access to the live discussion where we will be talking about the remaining steps of daring to dream, and within that, how to build confidence, build a career or a business, as well as legacy. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the group, and take care.